third medal for India at the Olympic Games. The significance of that, India have gone past the tally of the last Olympic Games in Rio, which were very disappointing. India had won just 2 medals in Rio, with Sindhu winning a silver and with Sindhu now winning a bronze at these Tokyo Games. She becomes just the second Indian sportsperson to win medals at back-to-back Olympic Games. And also in the tough sport of women's singles badminton, she's just the 4th athlete to go out there and win multiple medals as well. To celebrate this achievement of world champion PV Sindhu, I am joined by Tanvi Lad. Tanvi is an Indian badminton player. She was part of the Indian team at the Asian Games as well with Sindhu. So, Tanvi, let me just start by saying congratulations to all you badminton players for a stupendous achievement.
Thank you so much. I think I have goosebumps right now. I literally had tears in my eyes after that final point because I could actually feel the emotion that Sindhu and Coach Park were experiencing. A big moment. I think coming into this bronze medal match, it was all about emotion, and we saw Sindhu absolutely fired up. After the first couple points, I think once she had settled in, she was on it. She was taking her chances. Catching the shuttle high at the net, attacking, something she should have probably done against Tai Tzu yesterday. But today it was all about emotion, all about giving it her all. And I'm so happy that she's actually managed to come back with a medal. I think she left for Tokyo with the intention of changing the color of her previous medal, but a medal nonetheless. So heartiest congratulations to her.
Yes, in fact, you and Sindhu, you've probably played all your badminton together from the junior days, and just look at the plethora of Indian Olympic medalists that we've had since the turn of the century. In fact, since Leander Paes won that bronze medal in Atlanta in 1996, there was Leander Paes, there was Colonel Rathore, Malleshwari, there was Abhinav Bindra with his gold, but just Sushil Kumar, the wrestler, and now PV Sindhu, just 2 Indian sportspersons have managed to win 2 Olympic medals in back-to-back games. That just shows the magnitude of Sindhu's achievement.
Absolutely. I think Sindhu we've always maintained, even as her teammates, that she's a big match player. Manages to raise the level of her game and, peak at such events like the Olympics, the World Championships, the Asian Games. Always manages to deliver on the big stage, and that's the hallmark of a champion. When pushed against the wall, they actually up their game, and we've seen that at multiple occasions. Be it the World Championships, she managed to change the color of her medal from silver to gold, and now again at the Olympics, she's won a medal against Carolina, lost out in the finals, of course, in Rio, and has repeated the feat this time around by winning the bronze.
No, but Tanvi, you spoke about Sindhu winning the big medals and the big tournaments, and we were just seeing a graphics of that on our screens. And 2016, she wins the silver medal at the Olympic Games. 2017, 2018, she's in the final of the World Championship both years. Both years she doesn't win. Then 2019, she goes out there and absolutely dominates and becomes the first Indian to be world champion. We are perhaps blessed to be seeing one of India's greatest sportspersons right in front of our eyes.
Absolutely. I think work ethic has always been a strong point in Sindhu's case. She is ridiculously talented. She has a lot as an athlete in terms of her height, her reach. She has a lot going for her from the start, but I think she's worked incredibly hard. Her entire family and Coach Gopi Chand and all the coaches that have worked with her, Coach Kim and now Coach Park along the way. She's put in a ridiculous amount of effort at the academy. I've trained, alongside, and we used to start sessions at 4:15 in the morning. Sindhu was one of the first to walk in and one of the last to leave the center at 7:38 in the evening. So she's put in the hours, she's put in the grind, and when she's required to actually raise the level of her game, all that hard work and the mental toughness and the fortitude that comes along with putting in those hours on court, everything just comes together on the world stage. So that's basically what has made Sindhu the champion that she is. A ridiculous amount of talent backed with hours and hours of hard work. I think the 10,000 hour rule has, she's clearly a trademark, a hallmark of that.
You know, Tanvi, you speak about mental toughness, and for badminton players especially, it is very much required, especially when you're playing a bronze medal match. Because normally in the sport of badminton, you win and you play the next match. If you lose, you pack your bags and head home. But in this case, she lost a match against Tai Tzu-Ying, the world number 1, on Saturday. It would have shattered her because she went there for gold. She is the world champion and her hopes were there to go out and win the gold. But from the beginning of this match against He Bingjiao, you never got a feeling that she was distracted. She was spot on. In fact, in both the games, she went off to early leads. You mentioned that. And also, if you look at the way the match panned out, Sindhu sort of never allowed her to take the lead. She never allowed her Chinese opponent to come anywhere close to taking the lead. Whenever she came close, she just found something extra to go out there and build that lead even further.
Yeah, that's very true because, you know, as an athlete, very often it's your state of mind that determines how you play, especially at the level that Sindhu is playing at. She has the skill set, she has the ability to attack, defend, rally, play, you know, tactically actually produce whatever her coach asks her to. But it all depends on her state of mind on the day and at that moment. Yesterday in her semi-final against Tai Tzu, we got the feeling that probably she was either overthinking or was a bit overawed by the situation and allowed the emotions, her emotions to get the better of her. But I think in today's match, there was no question. Sindhu was on it from point one. She had an agenda. She had clearly set the intention of going for the medal. There was nothing, there was not an iota of doubt. And that was very evident in her selection of strokes, in the execution, in her movement, in her attack. I think she was bang on.
Okay, you know, Tanvi, going back to 2006, 2007, 2008, when Indian badminton sort of started to get its act together and challenge at the top level, it was always about, you know, somehow getting close to the Chinese players. And here comes Sindhu and completely destroys this Chinese opponent. And all through her career, even going back to that 2013 World Championship where she first burst into prominence as an 18-year-old, she's always sort of had this aura against the Chinese players, and they're sort of scared when they play against Sindhu. And you got that feeling, didn't you, with He Bingjiao, that at times she looked sort of, what do I do? Because Sindhu was getting in those cross-court smashes, even though He Bingjiao was sort of trying to go with her and sort of, you know, get her to make mistakes at the net. Sindhu always had one better shot up her sleeve.
Absolutely. I think we've seen Sindhu transition from actually competing against an attacking opponent like a Wang Yihan to playing out those marathon matches with Wang Shijian or Li Zuri, or beating Li Zuri after she won the Olympics. So Sindhu's always had great wins against the so-called wall of China. And that has put a lot of pressure on the Chinese women's singles because they do realize that she's a champion and a true force to reckon with. Having said that, with the senior lot being out of the way, we have Chen Yufei and He Bingjiao now in the fray. We've seen Sindhu defeat Chen Yufei last time around at the Olympics and at the World Champs. And even this time, I think with He Bingjiao, she was clearly the superior player in terms of her attack, in terms of the way she was dominating the net. Yes, initially we did see He Bingjiao come up with a couple of trick shots at the net, but Sindhu was clearly faster. She was making a conscious effort to play the fastest she can in every rally. So I think she was the much better player on the day. And like I mentioned yesterday, she was the favorite coming into this match and she lived up to the expectations.
And also just put this into context for us, for badminton as a sport in India. You know, Saina Nehwal was the sort of early pioneer in 2006, 2007. This is after Pulela Gopichandran had won the All England, and then back in the past you had Prakash Padukone. Then you have 2012 where Saina wins a medal over there. Then Sindhu takes it even further, and now it's a third Olympic Games in a row. Does Indian badminton sort of now have the bench strength to make this a sort of factory? It's not just about these two, because if you remember, not a very good sort of build-up for India to these Olympic Games. It was just Sindhu, Sai Praneeth and the two men's doubles players who made it. So how does Indian badminton sort of build on this? We've had once-in-a-generation players and they've delivered at the top stage, being the World Championships or the Olympic Games. But is there now an assembly line in place to take this even further and ensure India wins medal after medal in 24 in Paris, 28 in Los Angeles and 2032 in Brisbane?
Well, I think the foundation is there. There is absolutely no doubt dearth of talent in terms of all the disciplines. Women's singles in particular, I think there is a bit of a gap between Sindhu, Saina and the rest of the girls. They're young, they're a bit inexperienced, would need to physically get a lot stronger, faster, more powerful. There are a lot, probably like the Chinese, the Asian way of playing. We tend to play a lot slower, rely on our skills, and that's where the Indians are actually, they're good skillfully, they're good tactically, but I think in terms of pure fitness and physicality, the Indian girls are, they have a little bit of work to do. In terms of men's singles, I think we already have an assembly line. It wasn't very easy for Sai Praneeth to qualify, and it was unfortunate that, having two men's singles players in the top 30 or three men's singles players in the top 30, and just Sai made it to the Olympics because of the quota system. So I think we have a great lineup of men's singles shuttlers. It's always a struggle for someone trying to qualify in men's singles as an event. We're really up there in terms of the level. But I think men's doubles, when it comes to the men's doubles event, we've really grown by leaps and bounds. I think Chirag and Satvik have broken a mental barrier more than anything else. I think doubles was always relegated to, the singles discards who started playing doubles. And then, but right now, I think with all the work that coach Tan Kim He and now with Matthias Bo becoming national coach, I think it was pretty much, I think the level is up there. Satvik and Chirag just had a bit of an unlucky tournament in terms of scheduling, the draw. They were in literally the pool of death and managed to, play the British pair of Ben Lane and Sean Vendy third. Having beaten them, they still didn't qualify. So it was just probably not meant to be, but they had an excellent outing, and I think a short medal in the next Olympics. In terms of women's doubles, probably again there's a bit of a dearth after Ashwini Jwala. We have just Ashwini Sikki now, so there's a bit of a gap in terms of the level and the talent. But I think it's a matter of time before we can look at winning, a bunch of medals. Probably 2028 is a realistic target.
Okay. Okay. So Indian badminton obviously progressing very well. Medals at 2012 London, 2016 Rio, and now PV Sindhu sort of going out there and winning a second medal for India. Just before I wrap this up, I just want to celebrate what kind of an achievement this is, because we heard on the commentary, this is just the fourth instance of a player in badminton, in women's singles, winning back-to-back medals at back-to-back Olympic Games. I think that sort of shows the magnitude of this achievement, doesn't it? In India, anyways, winning an Olympic medal is a huge achievement. You got to wrap up those sports persons in cotton wool. But she's not allowed all that fame and adulation to get to her. I spoke to Sindhu before these Olympic Games. We had a lovely chat talking about what she learned from those games, and she said, yes, there was the fame, the adulation, but I realized that I have to keep performing. And I think that's the beauty about PV Sindhu, that she's never allowed the success to sort of satisfy her hunger.
Absolutely, I think that's one of the hallmark. That is a hallmark of a champion, because no matter what you achieve, like I think in the interview you had with Sindhu, you did ask her about expectations and people's expectations, and the expectations that she has from herself. But I think she chooses to focus on the work. she chooses to focus on the process, and that's what makes her, automatically when she goes to the event, she does get those results and does satisfy everyone's expectations. But she's so process oriented that distinguishes her from the rest of them. In terms of celebration, this takes me back to the Uber Cup and Asian Games wins, when they were historic wins again. The Indian women's team winning the bronze medals at both the events, and it was crazy. Post match, the medal ceremony, we had the entire stadium cheer us on. We had a band when we won in Delhi. We had this band actually come and cheer. It was an absolute proud moment for the entire women's team, because we had never won a medal at the Uber Cup or the Asian Games. So a big day. And I think Sindhu today can come back with her head held high, despite a crazy pandemic year, lack of match practice. She's had a bit of an up and down, form-wise. She's not been in the greatest of form. There have been, her critics have been up there trying to pull her down from time to time. But to actually see her peak at an event like the Olympics, hats off.
Yes, hats off. Hats off to PV Sindhu. Hats off to Indian badminton for somehow finding a way to end the sort of Chinese monopoly in women's singles, especially in badminton. Tanvi Lad, thank you so much. And it's time for you to celebrate. I know Sindhu last time at the Rio Games, the moment she got that medal around her neck and went back to the village, she sort of was looking for an ice cream. And I think it's pretty hot in Tokyo at the moment. So an ice cream is probably, the coach is going to take her to the dining hall and give her that ice cream himself. Thank you so much for joining us.